A couple of things I want to address. So obviously COVID has not gone away. I mean, I was triple vaccinated. We do a great job with our medical staff, but it happens. And so people are tired of COVID, but we still have to be careful. I'm wearing this mask not because of me, but because I want to protect you guys out of respect for you guys. So that's what we're going to do. We'll get through it. Everything's going to be fine. I'm coaching tomorrow. We're going to be fine. I would like to have a quick shout out to the Beat Portland weekend, to the Reign players, and Megan certainly had a very high honor with the president and a medal. I think that was great, but I wish, the Reign good luck. And then the last thing, I think there's been some players, some other people that have talked about another senseless shooting in our country. And again, we're talking about Seattle-Portland because we're a sports team and it's a rivalry and it's a big deal. But people, again, have to just do something. Okay, vote, get involved, do something, because I'm just sick to my stomach every time we see that. It's just happening way too frequently. You already know my stance on the women's right to choose issue. So now we can talk about soccer. Okay?
Saturday, you have a game against a familiar opponent.
Yep. A team that's come up here and had some results. Now, I did remind Jimmy Medranda of his goal last year in the 6-2 game, but it's been interesting that the two franchises have kind of traded places as far as home venues are concerned. So we addressed that pretty heavily last couple of days. And how do we counteract that? What do we need to do to be better than Portland on Saturday? So we've addressed it.
What do you make of that? I mean, it's a pretty bizarre stat.
I have no idea. Maybe in this intense rivalry, games go either way. Maybe certain plays dictate the outcome of games. I might, if I have more time, do a deep dive into that. But right now, Jeremiah, I don't have an answer. I don't know.
I mean, do you feel like when you at home, does it still feel like this has been? It's been 5 games since you guys have beaten them. Do you still feel like the favorite every single time you go out there?
Yeah. But they feel like they can win. But we feel like the favorites. I'm sure when they're at their place, Gio's telling them the same thing. So, interesting storyline. Not sure the answer to that.
Gio had some quotes about, alluding to some jealousy, maybe is one way of putting it, but like being frustrated that you guys got to Champions League first, and they're sort of kind of playing this up as an honor to them that they are the team that you are choosing to play against. Is this just sort of the fun of the rivalry, or do you read into any of this?
No, Gio Savarese is a really nice man and a very good coach. He said those things because there is a rivalry. He's one of the few guys that he and I can talk and we understand, because I want to beat him just as bad as he wants to beat me. When they won the championship first and MLS Cup first, that stung. Okay, so it's a rivalry. It's two coaches, it's two franchises, it's groups of players that have some pride in this rivalry, what it means to this part of the world. And so we're competitive. I don't read any bit of jealousy in that. He's always been very respectful to me and the club. So I think it's just his competitive juices. I'm sure he's going to use some of the banner unveiling and some of that to his advantage. I'm sure he will.
One of the other things that's going on in this rivalry is that you go back to 2015, and one of the two of you have represented the Western Conference and MLS Cup every year. You got to go back all the way to 2011 to find the last time that neither of you were in the Western Conference Finals. Is that something you take some pride in, even if you don't necessarily want to see them win MLS Cup? That it seems to always be one of you two that are repping the Western Conference.
Again, competition drives performance in some ways, right? Now, MLS is a very competitive league. The LA teams are extremely good. Kansas City has won an MLS Cup 2013. Dallas has always been competitive. I mean, look, we're in a competitive environment, but the little extra 5% maybe that you get between Seattle and Portland, maybe that has some effect in it. Maybe. Or, again, maybe it's just one of those storylines that I don't have an answer to.
Brian, You talked about the competition between you two, and I know there's a brotherhood in coaching, but how much respect is there between you two and some other ones in terms of how you do the coaching, in terms of the teams, and you know?
You mean with everybody or just Gio in
Well, let's start with
particular?
Gio, yeah, because we're just talking about Gio, just his teams and how they respect the game and those type of things.
Yeah, I mean, look, our games. Look, we had Ozzy, Chara, Valeri back in the day, Nico. We've had some. Look, we've had some competitive games that might have tilted the scale on, being too physical. But we've also played some very fair, good, hard, but good and fair games as well. I don't see Gio as one of those guys that, you know, okay, let's kick the crap out of Ladero. Same way as that I don't say let's beat up on Blanco. We don't say that kind of stuff. I think that in the grand scheme of how Gio and I view the game, I think we're similar there.
Big game, players, but obviously the Portland Killers coming back this Saturday. Just what just the uplift to the team on that.
Well, I have to add killers because Montero scored some pretty good goals for us against Portland. Again, I referenced, the game last year, Jimmy's goal. I mean, we had some good goals in that game last year. But there again, they've taken it to us. Their set pieces are dangerous. Tuyoma's got 5 goals already. Mabiala's scored some set piece goals against us. I mean, we're trying to figure out a way how to slow them down there. So it's going to be a good game.
Coach, how important has Kellen Rowe's versatility been, especially over this recent stretch with injuries, that you're kind of able to move him around?
Well, I wouldn't say just the recent stretch. I'd say since he's been here, because he's moved around last year and this year, and he's been great. So it's very helpful to have a player that can play multiple positions well. So, I can't say anything more than that. He's been a great signing for us.
Anything else?
Yeah,
Thanks,
how
Coach.
does it feel to unveil the banner tomorrow?
Well, right now, I don't know if I can predict my emotions, but I'm sure I will have some. I would probably say I'm very proud of the effort that the players have put in to that tournament, to their endeavor throughout the course of my 6.5 or whatever, 7 years I've been here. The players have always stepped up in those big moments and delivered. So I have an immense sense of pride from all the players that we've had at this club, because I think the culture of our club is, and hopefully always will be, that it's their team. They're the ones that do the hard work every day. They're the ones that have to hold each other accountable. They're the ones that have to stick together in hard times. I mean, it's them. And then, of course, winning at home in front of our fans, and that connection between the players and the fans, that's great as well.
Okay. And is there still excitement for the World Cup being hosted here?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, let me get through the weekend, but yes, absolutely. As a guy from Seattle, I love it. It's going to be great.
It's kind of a historic moment for soccer here in Seattle. Can you just kind of talk about it broadly like that?
The World Cup?
Yeah, just everything,
Well, from a financial aspect, there's going to be a lot of people coming to our city. Tax dollars, business, bars, restaurants, hotels, everybody. So hopefully that's good for the business people. I think the people will get to see a really nice part of the world in Seattle and the Northwest with Vancouver. So they'll be able to enjoy some of the things that we might take for granted. And then from a soccer perspective, I think we've been one of the front runners of our sport, since '74 and even before then. Some of the ethnic leagues that were playing back in the 50s, 60s, Frank McDonald does a good job of, making sure our history is not forgotten. So to showcase us as a true soccer city is something I'm proud of as well.